I'm Chad Dimera. You've seen me on your screen, fighting for the Dimera legacy, navigating the betrayals, and surviving the absolute chaos of Salem. I will take you behind the scenes for you. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome back to our channel, fellow Salemites. I am literally typing this up at 2 in the morning because I just finished reading the latest interviews and my brain is completely short-circuiting. We need to talk about Connor Floyd taking over as Chad Dimera. I mean, I'm sorry, but are you kidding me with this casting story? I was already a nervous wreck about the recast. I've been watching this show religiously for years, and we all know how incredibly jarring it is when a legacy character gets a new face. Billy Flynn has been OUR Chad for what feels like a lifetime. When Billy decided to leave, I was devastated. I genuinely thought they were going to ruin Chad, that there is no way anyone else can step into those designer suits and give us that signature Dimera angst. But then Connor Floyd drops this unbelievable bomb about how he actually got the part, and I am just sitting here screaming at my screen. A delayed flight, a random miserable 12-hour delayed flight is the only reason we have our new Chad Dimera. I just can't. Connor Floyd was literally just sitting on an airplane trying to get to Boston to propose to his girlfriend. Probably exhausted and annoyed like any normal human being stuck at an airport. And he happens to strike up a conversation with the woman sitting next to him. And who is that woman? Marnie Seta, the legendary casting director for Days of Our Lives. What are the actual odds of that happening? Am I the only one who thinks the soap gods were literally orchestrating this from the heavens? It is so insane that it sounds like a plot line straight out of Salem. Like, if they wrote this into the show, we would all be complaining on the forums saying it's too unrealistic. But it actually happened. Wait. I'm getting ahead of myself, because the story gets even more chaotic. While Connor's having this high-stakes, impromptu job interview at 30,000 feet with Marnie Seta, he is secretly having a total internal meltdown because he thinks he lost his engagement ring. Can you even imagine the panic? He's sitting there trying to sound all professional and suave, pitching himself as a leading man, while his brain is screaming about a missing diamond. I am absolutely dying laughing at the thought of our new Dimera prince sweating bullets over a lost ring while trying to secure his bag. Thankfully, the ring turned up. He proposed. She said yes. And he got the job. Talk about the best delayed flight in the history of commercial aviation. But seriously, this just makes me love him already. It shows he's got that chaotic, unpredictable energy that a true Dimera desperately needs. And we have to talk about the timing of it all, because it is suspiciously perfect. Connor had just been let go from The Young and the Restless, where he was playing Chance Chancellor, and right at that exact moment, Billy Flynn was wrapping up his run on Days. It was like a cosmic passing of the baton. I know some YNR fans were super bummed when he left, but honestly, their losses are massive gain. He has that classic soap opera leading man look, but with a bit of an edge that I think Chad really needs right now. Because let's be real, Chad has been going through the ringer lately, and he needs a fresh spark. The fact that the stars aligned so perfectly for Marnie to say she would call him and then actually follow through just blows my mind. But transitioning to DOOL is no joke. And Connor admitted it himself. He said the first thing he learned is that the pace at Days is SO, much faster than YNR. And as longtime fans, we already know this. DOOL shoots months and months in advance, and they do not have time for a million takes. It is literally a machine. Connor said that as soon as you walk through those doors, it is game time. And I respect that so much. You have to be a true professional to keep up with the Salem shooting schedule. You're getting handed pages of dialogue about microchips, resurrections, and evil twins, and you just have to deliver it perfectly on the first try. The pressure has to be unimaginable, especially when you are stepping into a role that is so beloved and deeply ingrained in the show's history. Okay, back to the point. What really gives me hope is how Connor talked about the collaborative environment. On set, he said he was actually surprised by how open the studio is to ideas and making adjustments on the fly while scenes are moving. This is huge for us fans. Sometimes, especially with legacy characters, the writers get so stuck in their ways that the dialogue feels incredibly forced. Hearing that the directors and producers are letting Connor play around and find his own footing with Chad is exactly what we want to hear. It means he's not just trying to do a Billy Flynn impression, he's actively building his own version of Chad Dimera. And we desperately need a Chad who feels authentic to this new, incredibly messy chapter of his life. Now, here is where I completely lost my mind reading his interview. He specifically mentioned how much he is enjoying his dynamic with Gregory Cart, who plays Leo Stark. Leo Stark. You guys, what on earth are Chad and Leo doing interacting so much? I mean, I love Gregory Cart. He is a national treasure, but Leo is an absolute menace. Remember when Leo tortured Chad and Sonny? Yeah, didn't work then either. Is Leo trying to blackmail Chad? Is he trying to dig into the Dimera secrets? Or are they becoming frenemies? I kind of hate the idea, but I also kind of love it. I know I'm contradicting myself right now, but that's what this show does to me. The idea of Chad's serious, brooding Dimera energy clashing with Leo's flamboyant, chaotic nonsense is pure gold. If Connor and Greg are having fun with it, I am definitely here to watch that train wreck unfold. But let's get into the real meat of Chad's character arc right now, because Connor said something very telling. He said Chad's main motivation right now is trying to do the exact opposite of what Stefano would do. Oh, honey, bless his heart. I've been watching since 2015, and let me tell you, every single Dimera child says this at some point. I'm not my father. I'm going to be a good man. You cannot escape the Phoenix. The Dimera blood runs deep. And no matter how hard Chad tries to be the moral, upstanding citizen, he always gets pulled back into the mud. But I love that Connor is playing Chad with this desperate need to separate himself from Stefano's legacy. It creates such a juicy internal conflict. He wants to be a good dad to Thomas and Charlotte. He wants to do things the right way. But the universe just won't let him. Speaking of the kids, can we talk about Chad returning to Salem with the newly aged up Thomas and Charlotte? Alexander Elijah Bond is stepping in as Thomas and Autumn Gendron as Charlotte. The next Dimera generation is officially growing up, and I am terrified but so excited. Chad left town to regroup after that incredibly ugly custody battle with Jack and Jennifer. And honestly, I was completely on Jack and Jen's side, I'm sorry. But Chad was a total mess. He was completely spiraling, and those kids needed stability after losing Abigail. But now Chad is back. The kids are older, and they have actual voices and opinions now. Thomas was already traumatized by Cat Green pretending to be his dead mother. Now that Thomas is older, you just know he is going to give Chad absolute hell about his love life, which brings me to the absolute biggest mess of all, Cat Green. All caps, because I am stressed. Chad literally had to sign legal papers promising Jack and Jennifer that he would not date Kat in order to keep his kids. He signed away his love life for custody. And honestly, I get it. Kat literally masqueraded as Abigail to save her mom from Clyde Weston. That is next level traumatic for a child to witness. But now Chad is back in town, and what is the first thing he sees? Cat Green getting all cozy with his devious brother. The jealousy is going to be off the charts. Connor Floyd stepping into this specific storyline is brilliant because he gets to play the brooding, jealous ex who isn't even legally allowed to be an ex. I know some people are loving Kat and EJ together, but personally, I think it's a ticking time bomb. EJ is currently hiding the fact that Lexi Carver is alive in the hospital basement. He's getting slapped across the face by Kristen. And he's just generally being his arrogant self. If Chad sees Kat catching feelings for EJ, he is going to lose his mind. Chad's entire goal is to be unlike Stefano. But if EJ tries to steal the woman Chad has complicated feelings for, we are going to see the Dimera ruthlessness jump right out of him. You can't put two Dimera brothers in a love triangle and expect anyone to play fair. Remember when they tried this with Abigail? Yeah. It destroyed the family for years. I am predicting a massive blowout between Chad and E.
Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Stay dramatic.